Charlie has a high regard for weed. He recommends it to MS sufferers who are in desperate need. It's medicinal, it's pure, and it helps to ease the pain. And if you're feeling down, my friend, it'll pick you up again. Cannabis, cannabis will save the planet with cannabis. Cannabis, cannabis, it's a very useful weed. Cannabis, cannabis will save the planet with cannabis. Cannabis, cannabis, it's very good indeed. A miracle to life. Say goodbye to trouble and strife. A gift to the world. Let the cosmic truth be told. Rationality, liberality, open out your mind.
Hello UK, hello America, hello the world. This is the Global Hemp Network. This is Hemp Works, and we're coming to you from based down in Hastings in the UK. Jay, my son, is the anchorman tonight. Hello Jay, thank you for a lovely day's work today of organising all this for us.
You're very welcome,
Thanks,
very
Jay.
welcome.
Hi, Jay.
No problem. Hello, hi Sarah.
I do have here a little bio, because let's see where we put the bio. Where's the bio?
Yes, we've been getting to grips with the technology today, haven't we, Dad?
I'm an old fart, so I was born in the age of where only one person in the road had the telephone sort of thing. So
Yes, well, we have upgraded from smoke signals these days.
Men have not been to the moon. I saw men go to the moon, so you have to forgive me. So the two guests I've got on, one thing I love about the hemp world, I'm part of this Time for Hemp, and some of the guys that I'm working with, like Casper, Chris Conrad, Mary Lynn and Albert, the names are, I've revered these people over the last 15, 20 years. They have been such an inspiration to me, and here I am on my own, or on a UK. This is our station, by the way, UK. This is not about me. This is about cannabis. This is about getting the information out there, so that when people like Norman Baker, who God knows how much they pay to write rubbish like that, we can actually inform him properly about what the laws are and what we need from this country in terms of medicine. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
right.
one of the problems we had in the UK is we didn't seem to have a UK-based medical charity or website. There's some great cannabis legalising groups out there, London Cannabis Club, the Manchester Cannabis Club, Bristol, Birmingham, there's loads of them. And they're fighting for the whole cause of really recreational and medical. Now, I've got nothing against the recreational. I think it's a great thing because I've never been upset by a stoner, really. I've been upset by loads of drunks. But medically speaking, we need this stuff and we need it now because we are, as Mary Lynn and Al Burns from the medical cannabis site.com, which is the only real medical cannabis site out there. Yeah. It's got all the doctors under there, all the researchers under there. They fantastic people. They call us patients at a time, and that's certainly what this group was. And two of the members from this charity that was set up just after Christmas, on a wing and a prayer, and maybe no money. This is all done on love, and because they actually believe in this plant because it's healed them. They're alive today because of it. Yeah. And two of the members of this charity, Hemp Works Charity UK.org, are with us tonight. And what I was saying about all these great superstars in the hemp world, one thing I love about it, we all sit together and there is no superstars because this is a grassroots movement. And every player, every person in this wonderful hemp world is just as important as the next. Some of us have been privileged to have been working with this plant a lot longer. We're a lot skinnier than most of you. We've never got any money. I'd like to see that change. I've 21 years in an industry and I ain't made a penny out of it. Yeah, I can go to Spain and sell timeshare, which is 2 weeks of nothing in nowhere, and make a fortune. But there you go. It's changing.
The time is coming.
Yeah, it is.
Sarah Godfrey, right? And basically, I'm going to let her tell her own story. It's an incredible story. And then we're going to bring Pierre in, who is also one of the trustees of the charity. And I'll tell you what, these two people, they bring a lump in my throat to be even on the same radio show as them because the amount of work that they've put in, And the amount of help that they're offering people is just incredible. Yeah. So listen to them tonight. Take on board what they got to say. Go to their website. Try and donate something. Also go to Casper's website and give him £1 because he's living on fresh air sandwiches. I mean, it's unbelievable how we carry on day in, day out, not knowing even where the next meal's coming from. It's ridiculous. But we've got the information out there that can save people, save the planet. And if you put all the hempsters together, put all their money together, you would walk out there, you most probably wouldn't have a year's wages. Yeah? So there we go. Come on in, Sarah. Tell us who you are. Tell us what you're about, love.
Hi, Steve. All right.
Hi,
well,
Sarah. Fine, darling.
Yeah. What am I about? I'm all about herbs and diet, really. I got really ill when I was 17 with terminal Crohn's disease, and the only way they could... Well, let's just say what modern medicine had to offer me just wasn't a way to live, basically. I tried the steroids. They gave me really bad arthritis. So I just went home to die, and I was told I had about 6 months left, and I was already smoking cannabis for pain relief, and then I was eating it as well for pain relief, and then I got into medical herbalism and diet, changed my diet, did a non-surgical rest of my bowel. Still needed some surgery down in London because I had a fistula, which is like basically a hole in the rectum, and I had blood poisoning and all that. Anyway, I was very ill for a long time, let's put it that way. Bedridden, wheelchair-bound for 14 years. Almost constantly. It was pretty bad. And I've finally been in remission for about 6 years, maybe 7 this year it might be, off all the morphine, and it's all down to herbs, including cannabis, which was my main pain relief, muscles. Well, it kept me going when nothing else could make me eat, and let's just say I've been on the oil now since Christmas Eve, and I've swapped all my medication now for oil and eating hash.
So you said something
stuff,
to me
basically.
Once online just recently about that you was addicted to medical prescribed painkillers, sort of opium-based tramadol sort of stuff, really gnarly gear.
Oh, yeah, massive amounts of Oromorph. 250 milligrams a day of Oromorph, 200 milligrams a day of diazepam or Valium.
Wow.
About 20 to 30 milligrams a day of Mogadon or nitrazepam. What else? Antipsychotics, you name it. And dihydrocodone, 12 days of the 30 milligram dihydrocodone. All that for 14 years, and I think the only reason I'm alive still is because, number one, I don't absorb everything I swallow. Number two, the herbs and the hash, I kept eating and smoking it even through the worst, through the worst of it. Even when I was barely conscious, I still couldn't cope without it for loads of reasons. And so I'm pretty lucky, really. It's helped me.
So with the situation with these prescribed medications, I mean, they're pretty addictive, aren't they?
Yeah, they're highly addictive, very toxic. It's a vicious circle, really. Because
so how did you manage to give up 18 years of drug addiction, basically?
Well, with the oil, because the oil changes... cannabis oil. Sorry, Steve. Cannabis oil. Because eating cannabis and smoking cannabis and vaping it, which I've been doing for 23 years, that was bloody brilliant for pain, nausea, muscle spasms, incontinence, you name it. But the oil has an extra dimension that just eating it and vaping it and smoking it don't do.
So for the rest of the listeners out there that are really not quite familiar about this oil business, could you just explain to us a little bit about what that entails? I mean, what do you do? Just put it in water or something, or mix it up with a bit of milk? I don't know. How do you go about
extract the oil from the plant using alcohol. I mean, Shona Banda, that lady in America who had terminal Crohn's as well, she collected the oil from inside of a vaporizer, didn't she, to start with?
Yeah.
Basically, the oil is a different... the way I make it is without any heat, because I think that might break down less of the essential ingredients. I'm still learning this.
So what you're doing, for people that don't understand this at all... So what you're getting you're getting a plant, basically, a plant that grows in the ground in England,
dry
with a bit of sun or a few lights. You messed it up,
yeah. You just take the plant, you just dry it, you just put it in a blender or something to mash it all up into little bits. Soak it in very, very, very good quality strong alcohol. You want 75 to 80%. I use my own alcohol because I don't want to use ethanol. Well, basically ethanol, I don't want to use commercially produced non-food grade ethanol. Let's put it that way. Everything.
We're getting too much detail there, Sarah. So basically you take the plant that grows under sunlight and stuff, and by a very easy process you extract, you sort of
extract the oil, you extract the active part of the plant,
So don't that frighten you? Because as far as I know, from the letters I've received from the government, I've got one on the 18th of November from the Home Office saying that this medical cannabis or cannabis don't have any medical benefits, so therefore it's highly illegal. That's what John Baker was saying today, that, you know, if you do all this, like, you're going to go to prison, love. I mean, don't they worry?
It's crazy. Well, Steve, I've been battling with this for 23 years. I've been in this situation for 23 years. Do I risk dying and not going to prison, or do I risk going to prison and staying alive and in remission? And the choice for me is pretty fucking clear. Excuse my language, sorry.
Well,
but what I'm trying to say is that the law needs to change. You know, the law's got to change, because I'm in remission, but there are other people who are dying now, and they need this. It's medicine. There's no doubt about it. The research has been done. If they want to do more, just do it. Just don't keep beating about the bush saying it don't work when it does. Too much evidence now. The whole globe is turning towards legalisation of cannabis, and England's got to follow, because I know they're trying to hang on to their monopoly and controlling it and everything, but it don't work like that.
They're trying to do, I mean, the police could come and knock at your door tonight, couldn't they?
They could, they could.
On UK radio.
Well, it's happened before, Steve. It's happened before, and I went effing mental and said, "Give me back my bloody herbal pain relief." They took me down the station, and I asked to see a doctor, the station doctor. He heard what was wrong with me and couldn't wait to get me out of there, because they thought I was going to, well, I've got such a serious illness, it's really bloody serious. You know, I'll die without these herbs. There's no two ways around it.
Wow.
I've been in remission now, only due to very strict herbal and dietary regime. And something like stress can push me over the edge. So the last thing I want is me
with this
half dying in a cop shop.
Do you get many people asking you about this medicine and where they can get it?
Yeah, I do. It's a real problem. It's heartbreaking, really, Steve, because you know, there's people who contact the charity saying, "Look, I've got end-stage cancer. I've tried everything, nothing's working, and they've sent me home to die," which is a situation I was in like 20 years ago. And I have to say to them, "I'm really sorry, it's still illegal. I can tell you how to make the oil. I can't actually get it for you or, you know, do anything like that, but I'll give you as much information as I can, but to try and help you find your own." To be honest, the gateway drugs are the other ones that are sold alongside cannabis. It's not a gateway drug, and how comes I came off morphine, dihydrocodone, Valium, which you're not meant to be able to do all this without serious, like, epilepsy, long-term effects that I didn't get, because I did it slowly and used herbs. So it does the opposite to causing drug addiction, basically. But that don't fit in with their monetary system, does it? Because they earn a lot of money.
I don't know. I'm just a simpleton. I mean, I put my hands up and all, Sarah. I had a bit of trouble with the cancer, and I've done the chemo and all that shit, and it killed me twice. And then I've been involved in this hemp industry for quite a long time, and at the end of it, when I didn't have no choice, I almost reluctantly took this oil and broke the law, and Jesus Christ, 2 years later I'm bouncing around. It's unbelievable. Even my doctor says I'm a walking miracle. I'm pretty miffed myself that our UK government can even think about not letting people have their medicine.
Yeah, to me it's a human rights issue now, Steve. It's reached the point now. I mean, there was an Irish MP saying this the other day in an interview. This is a human rights issue. We've got MPs agreeing now that it is a human rights issue, because the choice is you either die or you can take the oil and the herbal way and have a chance at life. You know, it's a no-brainer, isn't it, really?
Well, to me it is. I mean, I don't know how, if somebody was working in Westminster and they caught cancer, and I don't know, I mean, what would be the coup then, I wonder, or whether it's one of his kids or one of their kids had all this epilepsy stuff that apparently it really, well, not apparently, I've seen the videos and read the scientific reports. As far as
it works. We know it works.
Yeah.
Well, I'm disappointed they're still saying that rubbish about it all being, you know, about the law. They're not going to change the law, basically. But it's going to have to change because the word is spreading, and one of the point of this charity is to spread information. It's not illegal to spread information. People are just going to go and start doing this themselves, basically, to save their own lives, and more power to them. So, you know, they're on a deadline now, the government. Time's ticking. People's lives are ticking away. Nobody really gives a toss about stupid laws that don't mean anything, really. What does it mean? It means less money for farmers, more disease, more control for the drug companies. We don't want that law. It sucks.
By the way, as well, I've been seeing some interesting things about this oil working on dogs. And there was something I was listening to Mary Lynn on our show, that all animals on the planet have got endocannabinoid systems.
Yeah, it's funny you should say that, Steve. A friend of mine recently treated their dog with it, actually, about 2 months ago, and saw a massive improvement. But
I've done it with my dog. I did it with my dog recently, and she was diagnosed with tumours, yeah. And so far, she's had no fits. We're on week 6, and she's not had one fit.
Wow.
That must have saved a lot of money in veterinary fees.
Oh, absolutely. Well, they wanted to charge the earth and to sort of cut her up and chop her open and pull this, that, and the third thing out. And I thought, well, no, it's, you know, you can't really put her through that. And just changed her diet, got her on the oil. She's loving it. Her coat's never looked so good. She's bounding up the stairs. She's like she's a puppy again.
Sounds a bit like you, Seth. So you must be saving the National Health Service a fortune.
I've been trying to work it out, how much it is saving in painkillers and tablets and antispasmodics every week, but it's hard to get the figures, but yeah, it is saving quite a lot of money.
You're a criminal that's saving the country money.
Yeah, how does that work, eh?
Well, remember, guys, that whenever anybody dies before their time, that is a cost to the country at many levels.
Yeah,
true.
Yeah. Top policemen, I mean, apparently the police force have got a very high rate of cancer due to the stress that they're put under policing the nation, busting medical cannabis patients, I suppose.
Yeah, it must be very stressful.
Yeah, and apparently that new radio system that they're using is a little bit too high-powered and maybe not so good for the policemen using them.
Ooh,
nasty. Of course, they're in close proximity to it, aren't they? Quite a lot.
If this drug's or this medicine's illegal, they would have to take the chemo, wouldn't they? Because
the cycle continues.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, if we can get enough of the public to wake up to the reality and to demand that the MPs start to look again at the plant from a medical point of view, taking it as potentially a new arm to the NHS, it could save the NHS absolute fortunes and save so many lives and just rewrite the history book.
Exactly, it could save so much money. That's the crazy thing about it, really.
But they're not interested in that, are they, though? They want to create repeat customers, so to put it, so that it's a case of it's just a never-ending conveyor belt of people. Yeah. It's awful.
All you hempsters out there, all you legalising campaigns, all you politicians, all you doctors, anybody that has this information, get up, stand up. As Bob said, stand up for your right, because it is
now is the time.
This plant, and let's stop all this political nonsense that's going on, because at the end of the day, this is a seed that grows in the ground. And I suggest if the politics don't change, we all go and buy some seed on the 1st of May, wherever you are, and we go and plant it. And we show them who owns this plant. Mother Earth owns it, nobody else.
Yeah, National Cannabis Planting Day.
Have you got that? Right, Mother Earth owns this plant. She's been here before us. She was here a long, long time before us.
And can we just say, anybody that's interested, where do they need to direct their inquiries to?
Hemp Works CharityUK.org.
What was that? I didn't get that. What was that again?
Hemp Works CharityUK.org.
No, shout. I'm really a bit deaf. It's all this.
Oh, God, my accent. Pierre, you do it. You got a better voice.
It's hempworkscharityuk.org, and we've even got a Facebook page.
Wow. Fantastic. So, look, anybody listening,
we have, I forgot.
Get on that site, that hempworkscharityuk.org, hit the like button, hit the donate button. We can do this. We can get it changed. We don't
donate.
Yeah, we can be the generation that changes things.
Yeah. No. Okay, let's wrap it down then. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Bye. Bye.
A miracle to life.
You are listening to the Time for Hemp Global Broadcasting Network. Please share us with your friends.
That's the team, gentlemen. Hell yeah. And either we heal now as a team, or we will die as individuals.
We know them can't stop the Rasta man from rising now. You told me say the time is now. We got to live. We positive. We know them can't stop the Rasta man from rising now. You told me say the time is now. We got to live. Be positive. Oh well, surprise, surprise. Another ghetto youth to rise. Keeping my eyes on the prize while Babylon realize them ya youth Jah could never be denied. Jah can't keep on reaching for the sky. We never divide, yeah, we stay unified, yeah. But negative and spread a positive vibe. From Belize, we spread it worldwide. Give thanks and praises unto the Most High. Don't expect a liar man to tell not lies. Don't expect a wise man for being not wise. Hello Most High and stop criticize. Fire burn through with me apply. Tell the lies, they make them stop be a miles. Tell the backbiters, make them stop make nice. All them a do a pollute. Jah girls and Jah boys, just a man for all unify. Well now them can't stop the Rasta man from rising now. You told me say the time is now. We got to live. Be positive. Well now them can't stop the Rasta man from rising now. You told me say the time is now. Money I need to pay because it is.
Make multi-story tell me loan no casket allow walk pow. I'm soft like a bastard. Omo Tony, you are mounted. This same woman at the Omo they hot doubted. Twist bend when the wind whistle by my feet bigger than the world biggest building in Dubai. God now my keeper, no people I will fight. Smoke fish, this different from the one where they fight. God no sit up in they calling me an intruder. In Jamaica, by me shower back the looter. Fire burn any man will say make a good. If you have a body tension, you better know time is now. It's for the boy, baby. Back in the siege, we be making them crazy. Daddy on the beats like lately. If you see me on the street, come be my lady.
We know them can't stop the Rasta man from rising now. You told me say the time is now. We got to live. Be positive. We know them can't stop the Rasta man from rising now. You told me say the time is now.
F-O-B-I, holla if you see I. Lick, gotta rep it and you know I do it B.I. And now saying it clear and loud. A lot of you would die broke if the world end now. We are victims of the system. We need to evict and kick them. Cause them know why we ride the ones we sinking and grow like quicksand. We started with no money and then we got a wallet. And now we got a account that he can go and make deposits. And I tell him sit down. If they say that they can stand me, I was just a little kid that became the big topic.
This rap game is a jungle, Siberia. Can't run it, then the lion, them a kill ya. If it ain't about money, we not hear ya. X on the track, all the way from Nigeria. Me, I dare ya, flyers up in your area. Flow so sick, it's venereal. Swag out of space. I must be an alien. Babylon can't stop the rest of the area.
And here we are. This is Hemp Works coming for you from Hastings on the Time for Hemp Global Network. And I'd like to welcome all the international guests and all the UK guests. We got a young man coming on here called Alf, and he runs a company, or started a company called Sativa Bags. Amazing company. And what he's got today is he's linked up with WWF, the World Wildlife Foundation, and they've decided to print the latest bag, which is apparently one of the best bags to be seen out in town with. They've printed their bag on a hemp shopping bag, so that's pretty cool. But Alfie will tell you all about that. So with no further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Alf. Hi, Alf. How you doing up there?
Hi guys. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak to you guys.
I met up with Alfie around about 1998, and he started producing some amazing bags from hemp fibre.
Thank you.
If there is something wrong with them, the thing is they don't wear out. I've only ever brought two in 14 years. So the problem with Alfie is Alfie needs new customers constantly because his line of bags and stuff just is incredibly good. They're some of the best I've ever seen in the world. And he's done. I think his hemp must contain an element of that stuff that Superman uses.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to just say I'm going to have a little extract. I'm going to have my cousin. His name's Curran, and he's going to read a little bit of an extract, which we basically put into every single bag. There's a little booklet which hangs on every single bag that when customers buy the bag, they can read this little extract. And I think it really eloquently describes the hemp plant. And here we go. Here's Curran.
So imagine a plant grown in harmony with the earth, harvested by the sun, flourishing without the need of herbicide or pesticide. As it grows, it suppresses weeds, returning nutrients to the earth via its roots and fallen leaves. Imagine a plant whose durability and versatility has sustained civilizations old and new. Its core, fibers, flowers and seeds yielding raw material for almost every conceivable human need. That plant is hemp, and we at Sativa proudly support hemp's eco-friendly cultivation and use.
So that's a little extract that I had a very good friend of mine wrote that for me, because he sat there with me and spoke to me about what it means to me. And then he went off, and through what my vibes were, he wrote that little piece, which I think it's I don't know how you feel reading that.
Has this guy got a name? Can we give him a shout? Because that's an amazing piece. I love that. I want a copy of that written on hemp paper. I want to give it pride of place on my wall.
It's Sanjay Modgill. He's a doctor, and he wrote that for me, and it was incredible. I thought that really puts it down to...
That's quite interesting, because I don't know if you heard the intro music. That piece was actually written for me by a guy called Tony Macaroni, under much the same circumstances in 1998 at Glastonbury Festival on a Sunday morning up in the Greenfields. So it's amazing how some of these artistic people
because it was
become
just like,
very artistic when we tell them about the plant and poetry and stuff.
Exactly. When we first started our business, it was like 1991, where we were actually, our family history was making bags from different materials. My brother and I decided to branch off and start a business ourselves, and we were introduced to the hemp material, and we said, well, all our family history of making bags, why don't we use that to choose a material that actually helps the planet, the society, gives a conscious sort of look at this kind of product. And we looked around the market, and all we can pretty much find in 1991 were like hemp barley rucksacks or something from, barley, really tatty, but it was eco-fiber. So we thought, well, there's a lot of people in this society who, have work around, in good jobs and society, in schools, and people who really want to go organic, but they haven't got something which is practical.
A posh bag.
If they want to take a laptop to work, a laptop bag, they inevitably have to buy a nylon one or a cotton one. or something, but they don't really want to. But it's just they need to do that. So we decided to use our experience of making bags and make it more practical, that people will like the bag for what it is, its functionality, but the bonus is that we've done it all in hemp and helped, the eco side of it.
You have indeed. Oh, I must put my hands up. I've had one of your laptop bags for many years. In fact, once I got rid of my laptop, I gave the bag away because it outlasted the laptop. The bag's still going. The laptop collapsed years ago.
Yeah, that's great. And then
when you say your family history, may I inquire as to where your family, what part of the world you come from?
We first, we're from Africa, Uganda.
Wow.
Kampala, and then we were the Idi Amin refugees, basically, who got kicked out overnight. My grandfather was a big industrialist in Kampala. We were always a trading family as such. So we got kicked out in 1972, and thankfully Britain came to India, and so we were allowed to come to England straight away. So
it was funny enough, I remember that because
Indian origin.
I was just leaving school and we had a couple of kids come over from Uganda. I wish I could remember his name, and I remember sitting with him one night, and he was, because they didn't teach us much about really history, and talking to this kid from Uganda, and he was telling me about Uganda, about how it was. I was just like mesmerised, telling me about how fruit grew on the trees and. But yeah, it was shocking because they when that all happened, if I remember right, you was allowed, or your parents or your grandparents, they only let them leave with one bag of stuff each, wasn't it? It was like no matter what they had, you got one bag and that was it. Off you went. Yeah.
We were very lucky. My granddad was like very successful in business and stuff, and did really well. And so, but all of a sudden lose everything, and then we came to England, came to North London. And never moved from there. But the business side of it sort of carried on. So all my mum and her brothers and everything continued the trading from UK. So like we were the first family to bring like saffron from Spain.
Incredible. So, excuse me, was your grandfather from the continent of India then originally?
Yeah, he's an Indian origin.
So you come from the motherland, you come from Mother India, and of course in India, the cotton, I remember the incident down at Bhopal when that American carbine, the only place they could get a license to produce that horrible chemical cotton, the chemical to put on chemical cotton, it was so dangerous nobody else wanted it, and the poor people of Bhopal didn't really know, and they put up a factory there, and one night all the gases leaked, and it killed thousands, and I believe that they've never paid a penny in compensation,
but do you know,
and there's people still suffering over there from it. Rotten cotton.
You know what it is? It was what I believe, it's the greed of the West that has forced and used people like this to produce products for the people who don't want to pay good money for a T-shirt or a bag or something. They're happy to pay £2 for a T-shirt or £5 for a bag, knowing the fact that there's no way you can physically produce something like that for that value apart from if someone's suffering.
Absolutely.
And at the end of the day, those people suffered because of the greed of the West, unfortunately. And it's like with us, that's the philosophy we had when we got introduced to sativa bags in terms of hemp. It sort of fell on our lap in terms of we were introduced to a factory in China by another company. But that
can I just hold it there? We're coming up for a break very shortly, so we can just give a word out to the other sponsors there. And this is a fascinating story. And of course, again, with India, it is the homeland of cannabis as well. You even have a god, or Lord Shiva. That's how high, and you're religious men, and it is part of Indian history, like it is most countries when you look into their history. Hemp was everywhere. Can I ask you something? Because I've made clothing with the hemp fibre and hemp silk, and I made 100% of the stuff. And we even got in Vogue in June '98. We were centre featured in Vogue, believe it or not, which was quite incredible. And there was a demand for it out there, but not enough, a big enough one. But I think now people are starting to realise that rotten cotton is no longer available, what it was all about, and they're looking for eco-fibres. Now, can I ask you, on a technical side, I've been a hemp grower in the UK as well. I mean, obviously, I don't think you're buying your hemp fibre from the UK. If there was good quality fibre available to you, would your company be interested in buying more local fibre? Is that
It's a very interesting question, Steve, because over the years we've seen a massive change in terms of the cost element of producing from China. Like China, when you mention the word China, everyone has a lot of shiver. They're decent people. There are good people in China. Yeah. They still need to feed their children and survive just like the way we do. Unfortunately, the West have dictated how they are actually achieving that. So we like, for example, we hooked up with a factory in China, and they're dedicated to us, and it's a small family-run establishment. Yeah. China have years and years and decades of history about working with the fibre. Yeah. Like we all know, hemp comes from, it's a natural resource. It wasn't created, it was created by God, right? And it was grown everywhere in the world, and people used to use it for all sorts of things, Ayurvedic medicine, to using it as like what we do in bags or whatever, carrying God knows what. But with China, it's become expensive because almost in one way it's a good thing, because the West have imposed conditions that they have to work to. So no child labour, blah 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 blah. You know, good working conditions, which is a really good thing. But in the consequence of that, the prices have started going up in China. So you know, it's no longer you can buy something really cheap and blah blah blah. With hemp and being eco-fibre, we made sure that the wages were correct, the equipment that they were using to make the bags were all health and safety regulated. We made sure all the standards were set, but the prices go up. But because of the trade and stuff, it almost is, in the next few years, if England decide to capitalise on the growth of hemp, they can almost start building the industry in UK, and we can make bags in England that we used to make many years ago. Bags and things were manufactured in England.
Absolutely. And of course the farmers in this country are gagging for a new crop.
Of course.
I've been to meetings at MAF and when it was the Ministry of Fisheries and at DEFRA, where the farmers have been there on their hands and knees pleading with them to relax.
It's probably the cheapest crop to cultivate and the maximum use.
The first crop that I ever grew as a farmer, coming from South London, was a hemp crop. And do you know what? I grew the most successful hemp crop you've ever seen, and I knew nothing about farming, because it's all weed. You put a seed in the ground, and that's it. Yeah. Nature looks after the rest. Yeah. And whether you're growing it for high CBDs or high THCs or high fibre content, whatever you're growing it for, all you got to do is put it in the ground at the right time, in the right place, and you can't stop it growing.
You know, all we can do as a collective, because we're all collectively minded in terms of how society should function and what we should do and how to support generations to come, is actually just support the industry in itself. You know, when you're making a choice of what you want to buy, you know, make a little bit more of effort and try and source something that you could, and it just helps companies like us.
Can I just bring you back to that price structure again? Because as I say, I'm not joking. I do have a wallet that's about. I'm not tight. I do pull my money out when I've got some. Being a hempster, I'm always skint. But I really do have a wallet that's about 10 years old. Yeah. So if I'd bought a cotton or a leather one, I would have bought about half a dozen of them by now. More than that, most probably. So the long term, you invest once in hemp and you get the value for your money.
You do. I mean, you know, like you said, we've got customers who, they'll buy a hemp bag, and they've had it for 6-7 years, and then they'll phone up and say, "Have you got the same model, the same colour?"
Yeah. It's customers for life, isn't it? That's the way I look, because when I was making the cosmetics, that was pretty much that as well. They lasted so long. They were quite expensive, but our core customers.
Well, I love the industry. We're not trying to pull a wool over our eyes. We're actually just stating facts.
We're not even trying to pull the hemp over their eyes. We're trying to lift the hemp over their eyes, not pull it down. That's the nylon curtain that got pulled down over their eyes.
And unfortunately, it's like a common saying, we as hempsters, or the people who love hemp and the whole ethos about it, are always going to be fighting against people who are greedy.
Well, the times are changing, Alfie, and this is one of the ways we're going to do it, by having wonderful companies like you on Time for Hemp. You've just teamed up, I believe, Sativa Bags and your company have just teamed up with the World WWF, and you've got a new bag that's coming out with them, I believe. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
One of the things that we were striving for, because a lot of the times when we were trying to sell this product, and people said, "Where is it made from?" and we said China. We've got a really negative response. People used to just walk away in disgust.
Oh, that's terrible.
That was made in China, and I said, "You're actually using this umbrella of everything's made in China. Everything is bad, which is not right. It's people like Nikes or all these kind of people are the ones who gave the bad name of products being made in China."
Yeah.
But also, the West demand cheap stuff. They always complain about price. But luckily, we made sure we did the right things with the factory. It was a family-run factory, like we're a family-run business. And so we support them and said, we will make sure we will try and support you in your business and only use you and help them. And then all of a sudden, had this opportunity to sell to WWF. We approached the organisation. They looked at our supply chain, and it was like a 100-page document. For every single component.
Yeah.
All of the certifications.
All I can say, I've seen that document before, because a friend of mine worked with them, John Hanson, rest in peace, who made the tree-free hemp paper, and we worked with them back in the day. And if you can pass that accreditation, you are clean to the core, because they don't state no shenanigans there. This is not about anything else other than what they say they are. So I ask you, not only for your dedicated service and your family to the hemp industry or the hemp movement for all these years, absolutely amazing that you have got a bag with them, because that is really one of the highest accreditations you can get. It's definitely a gold star. Well done, guys.
Thank you. We're really proud of the fact.
So listen, we've got to move along a bit quickly now. Can you tell us a little bit about the bags? What they're all about? I mean, why did they? What was the idea behind that? How are we going to get hold of them, and what are we going to do with them? Come on.
What we're going to do? I mean, it was a campaign that once we got the accreditation, it was a campaign that I spoke to WWF, and they were running this campaign to save these 4 big cats.
Wow.
And they're running it through Sky. They're running it through Adopt a Cat, and help save them being extinct. And so we came out with, because we got accredited, we came out with this shopper bag with the imagery of the big cats, and said, you know what? Buy this bag. You're helping the planet. You're putting money to a charity, and it will last forever. So,
so they're going to be saving animals, and they're going to be saving the planet. Come on, but what more do you want? It's not. Look,
granted, Steve, it's not a cheap. It's £20. Yes, but the fact that if you look at the supply chain, which I was talking about, we are paying the right money to the people who are working. We're making sure all the conditions are correct. We're making sure we're accredited. All of that has a cost. So if you compare it to
I've got to tell you now, you invest that £20 in that bag, you've got a bag for life. So what is cheap and what is real? Yeah, this is a wonderful payment.
Yeah, but the problem is that people have they see a cotton bag for $1.99 and they think that's a bag for life, but it's still a cotton bag which is using toxic and chemicals and stuff to produce it. Yes, it will last longer than plastic. Yeah, granted, but to produce that, do not call it an eco bag or anything like that. Which what they're labelling. They're labelling. So that's where we get sort of stuck in trying to sell our product, because they've got a bag which looks exactly the same, pretty much, the same sort of weight and consistency.
Everybody that's tuning into this show around the world knows about hemp, and they will invest in you because they don't want no more rotten cotton and they want animals back on the planet.
Yeah, exactly. It's a whole ethos. It's about how to look after the people who produce it, how to look after that environment. Yeah, we all have to make money out of it, but it's not exploitation. It's actually making use of what you've got and delivering something which is really good, looks after the planet, and you can be comfortable. You can sleep at night thinking, you know what, I didn't put 1 penny more to something which is someone who's been exploited. That's simple as that.
And that is worth a total premium. Don't forget the value of your money, people. You can vote with your money. Don't buy the rubbish anymore. Buy the real stuff. Support local farms. Support local people. Think local, act global, right? This is the only way forward. We can beat them with our money. Yeah, which also, I don't know whether you know, Alfie, back in the day, I had the money of England tested and it was 33% hemp fibre. That's why our money's so strong.
Yeah. We have customers through this website, www.sativabags.com, and there will be...
Sorry, I missed that. What was the site again?
It's www.sativabags.com, and you will have a collection manufactured, made from UK.
Wow, there you go. There, look.
I want to put, whether it's China or England, for me it doesn't matter, but I really want to put something back into, you know what, it's high time that we can start utilising our skills again in this country.
Absolutely.
And they've done before. Unfortunately, the Western greed world has pushed UK people, manufacturers out of the equation, but now they're back into the equation. So
we want proper jobs for proper people, growing hemp, manufacturing hemp, entrepreneurs coming on board, selling hemp products. Think local, act global. It's time for hemp. So listen, I'm going to wish everybody a good night. Thank you, Casper, for letting us back on the air again. God bless you. I'll talk to you tomorrow, and
thank you very much for the opportunity.
Because they're homegrown, babies.
Thank you for the opportunity, and have a really safe, nice evening.
Coming on.
But when they hear this song, they'll learn there's more to toking. 25,000 different things we can make from it, and if we give it a chance, we'll save the blinking planet. Food, fuel and medicine, necessities for life, a benefit to all of us, our wonder and delight. Within this smelly weed, there's more than meets the eye, so much, much more than smoking, it can cleanse our dirty skies. Cannabis, cannabis will save the planet with cannabis. Cannabis, cannabis is a very useful weed.
Ganja.
Some they say, why they take my choice? My way of life is my freedom's voice. If the government cared about your health, cigarettes and liquor be off the shelf. Propaganda feeds the hungry beast. The government is best, which governs least. We said, some we say, ganja. We say, choice. Back in the day, the people had no voice. 1937, the FBN, Harry and Slinger and some shady men. The lot of Congress saying marijuana kills, 'cause that father said the paper mills. We said, some we say ganja, we say ganja.
This is a message of a world in pain. This is a message to our global leaders. This is a message, a cry out for freedom. This is a message of a world in war. This is a message of a world in pain. This is a message to our global leaders. This is a message, a cry out for freedom fighters. What we require, souls on fire.
More fire, more fire, more fire, fire.
Freedom fighters, what we require, rebels fire.
More fire, more fire, more fire.
What are we doing with a word like this? The act of law was already a sign, a warning of Jah, destroy the evil mind. Jah, don't let it happen again. We already got us a second chance. We have to take it with the lives in our hands. We only live once, we must make it better. Global freedom and peace is the answer.
This is a message of a world in war. This is a message of a world in pain. This is a message to our global leaders. This is a message, a cry out for freedom. This is a message of a world in war. This is a message of a world in pain. This is a message to our global leaders. This is a message, a cry out for freedom fighters. What we require, souls on fire.
More fire, more fire, more fire, fire.
Freedom fighters, what we require, rebel Rebels fire.
More fire, more fire, more fire.
We have to stop the killing and fighting. All over the world people are dying. Children are hungry and always crying. Oh Mama Africa. Some people over the world searching for solution, but Diablo always showing us what's out of war. Wives and bombs and bullets wasted for self-destruction of our own human species.
This is a message of a world in war. This is a message of a world in pain. This is a message to our global leaders. This is a message, a cry out for freedom. This is a message of a world in war. This is a message of a world in pain. This is a message to our global leaders. This is a message, a cry out for freedom. Fighters, what we require. Souls on fire.
More fire, more fire, more fire.
Freedom fighters, what we require. Rebels fire.
You are listening to the Time for Hemp Global Broadcasting Network. Please share us with your friends.